You spent countless hours in the garage with your dad. Now investing in that old car and working on it with your son reminds you of him. And his legacy lives on. Fund your passion with a low-interest home equity line of credit from Bank of Blue Valley.
How are you doing?
Can't with you. Remember when you pinky promised me at the beginning of the year, starting in 2023, you won't do that anymore?
I got to find something different, but I feel like I need to see the most well-known person about whole health in Kansas City. And, just my...
Yeah. I
Okay.
agree.
Okay.
I agree. That's good. Look, I am a little more dressed up than I'm showing you. This is like my work.
Oh.
It says you are your own brand. So I just noticed you can only see this part on the top. But this is a work sweatshirt for me. How are you?
I am doing good. I am sitting in a building I was never allowed in at the University of... Whoa, you did it. Look at you're the best friend ever.
What is this, Scott?
No, I was just speaking at a business class at KU and never attended any business classes. It was really funny. Everyone in the class, I randomly did Q&A and I said, yeah, I never took math until my 5th year. And I guess I had to take math to graduate. And they all literally rose their hand and what? How'd you not take math? And I was like, yeah. So
when I go and speak at colleges, they're like, can you leave out that part about not graduating? I'm like, oh, yeah. So it's really interesting going back, right?
Oh, yeah.
What else you been up to?
Getting excited for our guests because everyone knows our guests.
I know.
You were at Bank of Blue Valley earlier, and that was amazing. I was in my speech today. A lot of people were referencing Burns McDonnell, so it's like no matter where we go, we hear about our guest, we hear about Lily and James, we hear about Bank of Blue Valley, we hear about Burns and Max. So the economy's cooling down, but maybe not a lot. I think 280,000 jobs were created in the month of November. So things are rolling in Bank of Blue Valley and Burns and McDonnell are hiring.
I don't believe that the economy's rolling down. We had a virtual retreat the past 2 days. So I pulled my numbers and, I don't really like to look at numbers or any of that kind of stuff. We've actually had our biggest year ever, I found out, and we're not even halfway through December. And people are at least doubling down on their marketing. So I'm pretty excited about it. I do want to tell you, I was at Bank of Blue Valley because I lost my debit card. Do you know they give you your real debit card, not a temporary one, within 5 minutes?
What?
Yeah, they just print it right there on the spot.
That should be a reason why a lot of people should switch to Bank of Blue Valley.
I was like, this is so great.
I need to go back into my college course and tell everyone to go bank with Bank of Blue Valley because how many times did you and I lose our debit cards in college?
I clearly still do. So, all right, listen, it's a short show today, so we got to be done talking about ourselves. I'm going to get to the music. We're going to bring on our guest. She's pretty much like my mother, like my way too young to be my mother. When I fell down the stairs and broke all my bones, she's the one that showed up with the crutches and all the things I had to do, made all the calls, got me taken care of. It's amazing to you. I got to take this off. We got 3, 1, Yoli! Robin! Such great music. So good.
Hi, everybody.
We are so excited you're here. First of all, there's a ton of people watching. So tell us why you love Dr. Michelle Robin, because I already know you know her and you love her. Tell us, are you watching on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, live or the replay? Let us know all of that over here in the comments because I can see y'all are here. Hi, Michelle. How are you?
Hey, good. Hey, thanks for getting me out of the office early today. They're like, you're leaving. I'm like, yeah, I got to go home. I got to talk to my friends, Scott and Aaron, on Drinks with Leaders.
Called work. It's called work. Hard work.
This is marketing.
Oh, it's just fun. I think it's just kind of hanging out with people you care about and going to get some new ideas and some inspiration so you can, live your best life.
So for our we've got a lot of people on here, but I'm going to guess there's 1 or 2 that maybe don't know who you are. Could you just give them kind of a quick overview of who you are and what you do and how you got to Kansas City?
Well, my name's Michelle, last name Robin, like the bird, in case you're wondering. Been in Kansas City, 33 years. Moved here to go to chiropractic school and have been here, stayed here, practice here, call it home now. And I practice chiropractic and in whole person health. I love just helping people just kind of dial in their well-being. I love to be a quarterback. I saw a patient right before I came here and happens to be a businesswoman. And sometimes you just need somebody to give you some guidance because you're not functioning at the level you think you could be functioning. So I just love to encourage people to take care of their mechanical, chemical, energetical, and psycho-spiritual health. You can see it right behind me here. That's called the quadrants of well-being.
Amazing, amazing. Well, I will tell you, William is here. He's watching you on LinkedIn. Keep letting us know. All right. So how did you get to Kansas City?
I drove my car, but I am that's supposed to be funny, huh? So I came here. I really wanted to pursue a career in chiropractic. I have a business degree from Washburn University in accounting because my chemistry teacher told me that I would not be a chiropractor because I'm not the best chemistry person. And I believed him for a while. And then I realized, no, this is my path. I think if you really slow down enough, or you look at some of the 2x4s that hit you across the face, you'll find your path. And my path is to be a chiropractor, especially around well-being. People say to me a lot of times, you're one of those new agey chiropractors. And I'm like, well, actually, back in the day, back in the early 1900s, we started in the late 1800s. Our philosophy is that your body's sick because of three reasons. It's because your thoughts, your traumas, or your toxins. And so I just love sharing with people that where you're at today is typically an accumulation of your whole life's journey. There's a great book that's kind of gotten really popular the last few years, The Body Keeps the Score. And so if you don't know the body's keeping score, you're not even paying attention. And so I just love to teach people to pay attention. And so that's kind of I moved here to go to chiropractic college to pursue that field, mostly because I love the spirituality of chiropractic. I do love the whole touching and feeling the energy of people, and then encourage them about drinking more water, less soda, more. I'm always trying something new. I was sharing with Aaron in the check-in session that I was when we were chatting before. My latest thing right now is checking out glucose. So I'm following this gal called the Glucose Goddess. And how does blood sugar impact your health? So I'm just a little bit of a nerd. I'm just trying to figure out selfishly how to stay healthy for myself so that I can hopefully be one of those people that avoid some of those diseases like dementia and kind of old age. I want to live a full life, but I don't want to ever be old, air quotes.
Yeah, I was just speaking with a group of people, and they were really puzzled by me talking about a little bit of the vein of your body keeping score. Mm-hmm. And you pay now or pay later, and you never want to, you oftentimes see a lot of people and they just haven't really put in the work, but we need our mind. We need to take care of our body so we can take care of our mind. When do you feel like that revolution, and I know it comes in waves, but what are kind of the time frames where you've seen those revolutions take off, where people are really realizing the whole person in terms of what their output is?
Well, I think the biggest time has been right now. I think if you're in a whole person health practitioner in this moment right now, people are more invested than they've ever been in their health. And I love that word. We have a saying, either pay as you go, or your body sends you a big bill later. And so I've watched it. I would tell you another pivotal time was in 2006. I remember thinking that something's got to change. It used to be back in the day. I don't know if you've ever been to a chiropractor, Scott, but back in the day, you could just kind of lay your hands on people. And my friends, we always joke, shake chicken bones over them because we're kind of known as a little bit of weirdos. But you could actually adjust somebody, and it took a couple adjustments, and boom, they were back to their old feisty self. But what happened is the toxicity level got so high in the late 90s, early 2000s, that it was more work. So we had to start learning more about nutrition, and because of some of the foods like the fat-free diet phase, and then you got all the sugar-free and all the just different things that create so much dissonance in the body. And then all the stress, and and definitely the stress of we're on social media right now. Social media has been a big stress for a lot of people because they don't know how to hold that container. They watch what's happening on social media and they think it's the whole truth, instead of going, wait a minute, that is a snapshot of somebody's life. It's a snapshot of my life, and they're not looking at the whole picture. So I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty jazzed right now. I kind of wish I was about 27 starting right now. Kind of wish that, instead of in my mid 50s thinking about the next 30 years. But I think the best time we've ever been in healthcare is right now. I mean, to change it. The best time we've been in wellness care is right now.
Okay, so my question is, you're in wellness care, but you're also a business owner, right? And so where at what point, because you've been doing this a long time, and I've always said there's a lot of business owners that never took a business class, right? Like they went to med school, they went to dentistry school, stuff like that, but they never took a business class. They learned their trade or their skill, but not necessarily business. How do you, because you've really grown a big business around your wellness practice. Where did the business sense come in? Like what part of your journey did you start going, I'm also a business person. That's why I have to make these decisions and I have to do this. And this is what growth and trajectory look like versus just the wellness piece of helping people.
Well, probably not the best answer, but back when I graduated when I was 25, started my practice right before my 26th birthday. And at that point I was, $100,000+ in debt. I did get in more debt thanks to Baker Blue Valley because they saved me and helped me buy a building. So love them, love Bob Bernier, will always be grateful for his presence in my life. And so, I didn't have a plan. I had a plan not to fail. And I was going to work as hard as I could to make that not happen because I wanted to take care of people. So I want to tell you, I think being, and I have a business degree. So I think having a business hat and a doctor hat's hard, especially on accountability. So here you are, this nurturing, caring person, and then you got to turn around and say, what are you thinking? Or why are you showing up late? Or can you just do the tasks that you're supposed to be doing? And so it is really hard, especially being a physician that where you really in your empathy and you're just trying to really try to guide. So I want to tell you, Erin, it's hard. I have a little bit of business sense. Thankfully, I probably have wasted more money than I've made. Let me rephrase it. I have wasted more money than I've kept through my career. I've been very fortunate to have a successful practice, but I've been pouring it into, for me, my practice has been my child. I don't have any biological children. And so I've just been investing. I've been trying to figure it out for myself and for my clients.
It's interesting. I always think my Dr. Michelle Robin moment is, I'm trying to think, they moved to where the old Oklahoma Joe's is, the original Oklahoma Joe's. Do you know the non-for-profit that you were involved in maybe like a decade ago? Am I struggling on what the name of it is?
Yes. Oh, the one on Rainbow Boulevard.
Yeah.
Wasn't Junior Achievement.
Junior Achievement. So I'm looking at the board of Junior Achievement, and I'm speaking to a group called Top Gun Kansas City. And I go, please go outside when you leave and look at Dr. Michelle Robin. You see all these industry titans of Kansas City that have built the city like you have. And there is Dr. Michelle Robin. And when you're talking about pouring into your business, and I think what you're alluding to is you've given a lot of way and you've made a lot of other people's lives happy. But you're known as one of the most caring, loving people in Kansas City. So I think that's a good thing. I think what you're alluding to is all the other people that you've helped out. Instead of just tunnel vision on a business and blowing it up, you've been focused on everyone else. Where does that love and care come from? Because it has to be something deeper than just a feeling. It's something maybe you're born with, or how do you feel that, like, where does that come from?
I think it's a combination of nature, nurture. First of all, love Junior Achievement. Megan's doing a great job there. And, I want to tell you, Scott, you say that I'm humbled when I look at that wall. I think, my little self says, who are you to be on this wall? Because we are with Titans, and I'm not a Titan in Kansas City. I'm just a human being trying to be a kind person. So I'm grateful for that recognition and the work they're doing to help kids, and especially around finance. Who doesn't love everything they've created? So I think a couple of things. I think we are innately designed to be well. And part of being well is being kind. And unfortunately, sometimes we have life circumstances that kind of tears us down. Maybe it's a poor parenting, or maybe it's a trauma that happens. It goes back to those 3 T's, right? Maybe we have parents that don't know that the way they're fueling us is making us sick. I was talking with I have this new young woman who's a client. My sweet spot is I love about 15 to 30-year-olds. I love other people, but I really feel like that's what God put me on earth for, is 15 to 30-year-olds, because you can change their life. You change future generations because they get healthier before they have kids. And this is a true story. I met this mom through a Hellsberg mentoring program, which was something I'm passionate about. And she brought her daughter in, And then we did some blood work and found out she's got a gluten allergy. She's had stomach belly aches since she was little. She's 16 years old, an elite athlete, and she has a belly ache every day. And the mom sent me a message this morning, said, by the way, my daughter is eating more than I've ever seen her eat. She's not complaining, and she's happy, and she's on board with this change because she feels a change. So Scott, to answer your question, I just think that we are not taught as humans how to really listen to what is going on because we just don't know. Because when you know better, you do better. So for me, I think it's a little bit nurture, a little bit nature. And I think it's that people were planted in my life along my journey, because I've had bumps in the road or barnacles or traumas, whatever you want to call it. And when you can look back and see it, and you can see the support that you were given. One of my teachers, oh gosh, I just forgot his name. He's such a great teacher. Totally spaced my mind, but he says you at any time, his name is John DeMartini, at any time you're being supported, you're also being challenged. No, Aaron, you talk about breaking your leg. That's a challenge. But if you close your eyes and say, okay, I'm a faith-filled person. Okay, Spirit, God, whatever you use, let me get through this situation. What can I learn through this? How do I move through this with as much grace as possible? It's okay to complain, but how do I look for the people supporting me that are showing up for me? So Scott, I just am paying it forward because so many people showed up for me, and I really didn't see it till I was about 30. And when I was able to look back after I did some serious heart work, I was like, whoa, there's a lot of people that poured into me. So I'm just trying to pour out there, and you never know what one thing or one thought will help somebody shift their life forever.
Do you want to talk a little bit? I love that. Do you want to talk a little bit? I know when I first met you, you talked, there was somebody specific that poured into you and changed your whole mindset, just with the words they said to you. Do you want to talk a little bit about, because you say that, but I think it's also because you experienced that, right?
Oh, without a doubt. And I'm in my own studio here that we record Small Changes, Big Shifts podcast. And I look to the right here, it says a couple things. Actually, I got a board, and on the middle of it says, you matter. Because I think that we forget we matter, and we don't know how to nurture ourselves. And that's hard. And I say that, and it's not from an ego perspective, but we've got to figure out how to take care of ourselves. It's not an outside job. It's an inside job. So right in the middle says you matter. And then it has a bunch of pictures of some people that have really poured into me. It has my team. It has Barnett Hellsberg. It has my partner, my friends, my Women Means Business, different people on there. It has some sayings. It has my minister on there. And then to the right, it says your vibe attracts your tribe. And so if you look around your life and you got to think about, I continue to attract maybe people that aren't great for you. You start thinking about what inside of me do I need to shift so that I can attract great people in my life. And then on the very top, from my friend Karen, she gave me a thing that said, thank God for this moment. And I think the biggest lesson I've learned is it's all moments. We're having a moment right now. And when we're done, we're going to have another moment. We're going to have another moment. And I think we take for granted those little moments. So specific people, Aaron, there's been lots of people. I can go from the gal Ruth, who made me clothes when I was little. I had no idea she's making me clothes. I didn't realize we were that poor. You don't know you're poor until you realize you're not poor anymore. And then I have, John and Carol Lakin, who, he's the reason I'm a chiropractor now, and Ron and Linda Finkston, who let me work for them as a young person and let me live with them when my mom was in the hospital in the 6th ward, if you know what I mean. And then we have, Dr. Yenny, who helped teach me about the quadrants of well-being. And that wasn't his words, but that's how my business line puts together. And the list goes on and on, but if you look back, you can see it. And, Bob Rainier, how do I think Bob Rainier? I remember being 25 years old and going to the bank and asking for a loan. And he'll tell you the story. And I'm sure he's thinking, oh my gosh, you have so much school loan debt, but you want me to give you a loan? And he did. And so I'm eternally grateful for Bob Rainier, Make a Blue Valley.
Man, way to just come full circle. It's kind of like you host a podcast and speak for a living, just boom, 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 home run, home run. So in your world, when you are down, and, as an entrepreneur and running a business, life just seems to punch you in the gut. What are those moments of reflection that help you move forward when nothing seems to be going right? And you're like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. Everyone has those weeks. For you, what do you practice that the audience can learn from?
Well, it's interesting. I just have gone through, and Aaron knows a little about this. I really thought I was going to sell my building this year and do something a little bit different. And God said, no, that's not your path. And so I've had that year, and I've had the year where I was like, okay, what next? Why now? Who are you? What are you doing? So I think the big lesson for me, and I'm going to get to your question, Scott, is that every year, every couple years, or every month, you have a challenging moment. And the question is, how do you rise out of that? And so that's your question. And first of all, I'm part of a great group of, the Health Prevention Program as part of some of my tribe. I really go to my spirit. Not that we want this to be a spiritual show, but I believe in my own soul that I'm here for a reason. And if I can slow down enough to listen to that, but I have some rituals that I don't do every day. I don't do anything every day. And I've been at this 40 years. People that are in wellness, and I'm like, you know what? I just don't get it done. Some days I'm working on a project and I get up at 2 or 3 in the morning and kind of work through that. We've all done that as entrepreneurs. But I have a little sheet I've made of kind of some affirmations, prayers, and my go-tos that help me get my mind back in the right place, because it's here. And people said that for years, that it's here and it's here. And so I have some podcasts I listen to. Occasionally I call friends. I don't do that as much now, because I feel like I have some of that wisdom inside. I just have to slow down enough, and I've got to quit thinking that I'm 90. I told you 2 things I've learned when I was on vacation. One, I'm 90% of the stress, and my life's not that broken. But when you're having a broken moment, everything's bad, and you're like, well, wait a minute. My arms are working, my legs are working. Well, Aaron, maybe not your leg for a minute there. My mind's working, my ears are working. They're changing a little bit as I'm aging. My eyes are working, my heart's beating. How lucky are we? And so sometimes you have to suck your thumb for a few minutes and then get it out of your mouth and figure out what lifts you up. And what lifts me up is I have to hear the truth of who I am. And the truth of who I am is I'm a human being having this spiritual experience, or spiritual being having this human experience. And it's all going to work out. It is all going to work out at the end of the day, no matter whether somebody does you wrong, whether it's an employee, a patient, somebody says something bad about you. Take a deep breath and keep on moving. So did that answer your question, Scott?
Yeah, I think everyone needs to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who this is because they have privacy settings on, but it says, thanks for inspiring us, Dr. Michelle Robin, as moments matter and slow down enough to remind us that we are here for a specific reason. And Tony's viewing us on LinkedIn. All right, I have a really difficult question for you. You ready?
Bring it on.
So you are good at the chiropractor stuff and you are good at the business stuff, but at the end of the day, you are an entrepreneur through and through, and you have a million different things you've got going on, right? You speak, you do the podcast, you got your different campaigns, you do all sorts of things on top of your business. If for some reason somebody said, what is the one thing you're going to do for the next 20 years? You can just pick one of these things. What's the one thing you do throughout your week that you enjoy the most? Which one would it be?
Oh, I love, if I could do anything and I had to do just one thing the rest of my life, I would sit with people one-on-one, soul to soul. And I say, tell me what you're trying to get to, and I'll give you the wisdom that people have shared through me and that I've learned to help you be well. I love writing wellness strategies for people. I saw, as I might have mentioned, a business leader right before I came on the show, and it was their first time, and we were talking about life, and life goes so fast.
Right.
So fast. I mean, I can't believe I'm closer to 60 than 50. That just blows my mind. And it feels like I was just starting this practice, 30 years ago. So what I would do, Aaron, is I would sit with people and I would be a guide and just cheer them on. I'd be a cheerleader and I would encourage them, and I would be a quarterback and help them navigate and find doctors and counselors and business coaches that can help them not bump through life. That's what I would do.
I love it. We have a question here, and it's Joey Peck. Joey, your privacy's on, so I'm going to pull this up because I think it's really good. And I personally know Joey, so I know that she will love to hear this from you.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be willing to share a few of the go-tos on your cheat sheet of affirmations / podcast?
Well, I'll even send you my cheat sheet. I'm happy to do that. I can email it to you guys. It's a sheet. When during COVID, I'm going to tell you a story and then I'll share it with you, Joey. I was surrendering, and trying to figure it out. Part of my whole journey is I know there's a better way, but people are in so much pain, and I'm in pain too. I have my painful moments. I don't feel like I have painful days anymore, but every day I experience some type of pain and some type of self-doubt. I just wanted you to know that every single day. I just don't stay in it for hours at a time anymore like I used to, because I get right with myself and I try to ask myself some questions. So, but the word surrender came up, and then a friend, David Bird from the YMCA, I'm a big Y fan, and he gave me this book about the surrendering. And then I got in the mail a book called Magic of Surrender. So in my thing, and I learned about listening. It wasn't raised in church. I'm a kind of a spiritual mutt, which I'm grateful for that. But one of my go-tos on there, probably one of the most profound, is it is called the prayer protection. And it's the light of God surrounds me, the love of God enfolds me, the power of God protects me, the presence of God watches over me. That's a short version. And sometimes I will be chanting that in my sleep, especially when I'm wrestling with hard stuff. That's one on there. I have another one on there. I have an affirmation. It's from the Master Circle, which is a chiropractic leadership group. And it's today's a great day. I have the opportunity to show up. It's the best of me ever. I'm an irresistible magnet. I go on and on. But and I memorized that because I said it for about 15 years. And then I have the Lord's Prayer in there. And then I've shared it with my clients, because sometimes people want some guidance, and I don't push anything faith-based on people because I don't think that's my job. I just listen to people and I hear where they're having the struggle. And if they want a resource, I give them a resource, just like I'm sharing. We call it the prayer sheet. And then people have added prayers. The prayer of Jabez is on there. And that's what you do. The reason you do a show like this is because you just want to figure out how to help somebody, because you never know what one thing you're going to say is going to change your life forever. So that's on there. The Lord's Prayer is on there. There's one I got this one in January of 2020 from one of my friends, Cookie. And it says, Mother, Father, God, choose me. Mother, Father, God, use me. Mother, Father, God, move me. So choose me, put me in, Coach. Let me be the light of the world. And then use me. I think we're here to be used up, not in a bad way. Like I said, I want to all of a sudden just close my eyes because I've lived life as well as possible and be done. But the thing is, you got to move. You're not a tree. Keep moving, as Jim Rohn says. So that's one on there. So does that help? That's some of the things on there, but I'm happy to share it with you. And I'm happy to add anything that feels appropriate that would help somebody else along the journey of this thing called life.
Awesome. Yeah. Joey, connect with Dr. Robin. Okay. I have one last quick question. We got 2 minutes left. I think one of the things you're known for too is calling anybody and everybody on their birthday. How do you keep track of so many birthdays?
Well, don't be telling all my secrets. I don't call everybody, just so you know. But I think a couple things, and I'm not going to tell you all my magic to that. But I think here's the nutshell: is people want to matter. And there's on your forehead right now, I'm seeing some letters. You may not see, but I'm seeing it. It's called MMFI. Make me feel important. And everybody wants to matter. And so I think that's, you got to think about special moments when you hear somebody's parent died. A lot of people are checking out of the planet right now, especially when you have older friends or their spouses are dying or parents are dying. And it's just taking the time to jot them a note. Hey, I see you. I hear you. I feel you. And so it's not that hard, but you have to slow down enough. You've got to be able to not be in your own drama to see what's going on around you. So Aaron, I'm not telling you my whole secret on that, but I do think it's just being intentional about living your life that everything matters, because everything does matter and everyone matters.
I'm going to find out the secret one day because I want to be better at it. Dan says amazing episode and awesome eyelashes, Aaron. Dan, thank you for noticing.
Oh, Dan, help you got it going on, Dan. If you notice, that's kind of like getting a haircut and not your partner not noticing got a haircut.
He's got it good, right? All right. What is your last, what is the quote you want to leave us with?
Wow, I've got several, as you know, because I've got it. Look, just to be totally transparent, I have a bunch of quotes right here. I'm not going to pick any of those. I'm going to give you two. Number one is life is really simple. We insist on making it complicated. Quit complicating your life. Do the simple things because the simple things matter. And then the last one is, especially this time of year, there's a lot of people hurting. So walk out of your house like a shepherd, and you're a bright light that brings goodness to the world, and you help people and you reflect to people the goodness that they are. I don't have that exact quote right, but just walk out of your house like you're a shepherd, and you are here to take light to the world.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on. We are so lucky. Make sure you go follow Dr. Robin if you're not already. She's doing amazing things. She has a podcast you can watch. She's got all sorts of awesome things going on. So thank you, Scott, for co-hosting with me. And thank you, Dr. Robin, for joining us. And thank you to
See my heart? Do you see my hugs? Heart to heart hugs.
I don't know how to do this.
Yeah. Put your fingers tipped together and then your thumbs together. Oh. Yay! Heart to heart. There you go. I see you.
Go connect with Dr. Robin on LinkedIn. And thank you so much. We will see you at the same time, same place next week. Bye-bye.